Friends, how are you? Thank you for coming to my daily diary. Today I want to tell you what I did morning to night on the first 7 days of the new year, January 1 through 7 of 2023. Okay. January 1st, New Year's Day, one of my favorite days. I was up early there with my family in New York, and we were getting ready for my dad's wake and funeral and for the next 2 days. But on January 1st, I was together with my mom and my brother, and we just spent time together at home, making sure all the details were in place, communicating with friends, well-wishers, relatives, receiving food and flowers and the like, and cards, being just there at home, talking and being with one another. Had to do some emails on my computer, some questions related to staff tasks that would be getting done during the course of the week, communication with some of our pastoral team members like Marie Smith, who does our international work. Updating the monthly thank you texts. Every month the texts get updated for various key thank you letters. I did that remotely with the office computer. Communication with some of our associate priests in different parts of the country, taping of some of these daily diary videos, and looking at some reports about our online gifts. So between that and the time with the family and getting ready and having some meals together, that was the day on Sunday, the 1st of January for the new year. January 2nd, got up and had to do some email work regarding election volunteer meetings coming up, trainings that I had to prepare for, responding to communications of condolence from various leaders, website postings, preparation for a parish fax, and for an action alert and press release regarding pro-life legislation and other measures that will be voted on this month. Social media communications, media interview requests, and communications from the Trump campaign as well. And then in the afternoon was the wake service for my dad. So my brother and my mom and I went to the funeral home. We got things set up. We had some private time there, and then we welcomed all kinds of relatives, friends, guests, members of the pro-life movement from all over the country who came during the hours of the wake. We did it from 1 to 4 in the afternoon, then took a break, took my mom home, rested a little bit, and then again from 6 to 8 at the funeral home. It was so consoling, and to meet up with some of you who are watching were among those who came, and to meet up with everyone and to hear their words, their kind words, and pray together. It was just wonderful. The parish priest, of course, came by, and some of our associate priests that have worked with us were also there. Father Peter West, for example, that many of you know and worked full-time for Priests for Life. He was there and helped to lead the prayers and so forth. We were very grateful. Tuesday, January 3rd, that was the day of the funeral. So we greeted people from early in the morning, went over to the funeral parlor, had our final time there, and prayer and reflection, and then proceeded to the church where Father Dennis Wild, our associate director at Priests for Life, offered the Mass. Together with him, Father Peter West, who worked for us full-time, Father Giacomo Capoverde, who worked for us full-time, Father Dave Dybel, who works for us part-time, and the pastor of the parish. So there were 5 priests celebrating on the altar, and many, many people in the church. So thanks to all those who came and who can express condolences in other ways as well. The funeral after that, we of course went to the cemetery for the burial, and he had the military honor guard and the presentation of the flag. Very moving. And then, of course, a lunch to which we invited our guests, and we had a nice lunch together. Everybody just consoling one another and bonding together. After that, we went home, and we were tired, to spend time together looking at some of the condolence cards and talking I fell asleep early. But during the course of the day, in between some of these things, I had to have a little bit of time checking into some things with the staff regarding upcoming trip to Washington, social media, communication with various dioceses, letters from various, to and from various bishops, including bishops of other denominations, monthly credit cards that are being charged, and finally website domains that are being renewed. So I had communication with the staff about those kinds of things as well. Wednesday, the 4th of January came, and this was a day when, of course, being there at home with my mom and my brother, we had to go over a number of things that had to be followed up on after the funeral, making sure we had all the paperwork set, all the condolence cards, the thank you cards that we will write in response to that. And my mom wanted me to take down the Christmas tree because we're getting near the end of the Christmas season. So I did that. I usually take care of that task, packed up all the ornaments and the tree itself, made sure everything in the living room was rearranged and neat and clean. As far as work on my computer, I had to take care of some correspondence questions that our correspondence staff is answering. I had to give them some guidance. Work on some upcoming staff schedules. Work on the January plan, that is the detailed schedule of the month. That takes a few hours each month to do. Worked with pro-life leaders, various communications with them in preparation for an upcoming meeting of leaders that we'll have here at our headquarters. Preparations for the Walk for Life later this month, for a joint op-ed that I'm doing with various other leaders, for an upcoming interview with Dr. James Dobson, for the updating of liturgical videos on our website, for the preparation for the prayer service on the day of the March for Life, which I lead, that prayer service, tapings, preparation for tapings, for newsletters that I had to approve going out, for the updating of my bio, and had a great conversation with some of the leadership staff over on Capitol Hill as the new Congress gets underway. At 12 noon on the 4th, we had a visit to our home with my mom there and my brother of a home care agency. So we're looking into getting help there for my mom. And then at 3 p.m., I had an hour-long meeting with national pro-life leaders regarding, it was an opportunity for them to ask me questions or for me to update them on my situation in regard to the church leadership. And so for an hour, I had a great conversation with my friends and colleagues, about 60 of them on Zoom. And then after that, again, was just with the family there the rest of the day, helping out my mom, my brother, and following up on things from the funeral. Then Thursday, the 5th of January came along, and this was the day that I was scheduled to fly back to Florida. And so I did. I was picked up at 6:15 in the morning, and I went over to the local airport, White Plains Airport, and got on a plane to go to Orlando. Now, in the midst of waiting for the plane, flying, going back and forth from the airport, I had to do a lot of work on my computer, and that dealt with things like our participation in the upcoming Council for National Policy meeting of national conservative leaders, preparation of various podcasts, approval of various mailings, work on EWTN programming that we're going to tape at our headquarters, work on my writing of, I should say, my column for my regular column for Newsmax, and my regular column for Life News, preparation of interviews coming up, responding to letters of support from various people, working on plans for an upcoming trip to Washington, working on the scheduling of the ARC meetings, the Abortion Recovery Coalition, we're part of that, and also taking care of some appointments that are on the horizon. Got back to my office, and I had a board meeting. I had to lead a board meeting of the National Pro-Life Religious Council from 2 o'clock till about 3:15. Worked on some of these emails of the topics I just mentioned, and then at 4 o'clock went into the TV studio. I had to tape for Right Side Broadcasting Network, and then at 4:30 had another meeting with staff regarding social media, and then worked on other things at my desk. The rest of that afternoon got a well, let's see. No, I didn't even have dinner yet. I was meeting with different staff in preparation also for an interview that I had to do. And then at 7:30, we had an election Zoom training call. And that went for a little over an hour. I led that together with our political outreach associate, talking about what people can be doing even now for the next election cycle. After that was done, I went back into the TV studio and did a 9 p.m. live broadcast for over an hour, taking questions and answers from people about, again, my situation with regard to the church leadership and with regard to all our pro-life projects going on. So it was a late night. I had dinner after that, so I kind of ate European style, and I eat late into the evening and then went to bed. Friday, January 6th came along. On Friday, January 6th, I did some early work at my desk, and then I got picked up at 7:30 in the morning by a car that took me about 2.5 hours south of my office down to Palm Beach County to the studios of Ben Shapiro. And on the way in the car, I had to do a lot of phone calls and work with staff and work on emails. Let me give you some of the idea of some of the things that involve preparation for EWTN taping, taping in our studio, plans for that, e-blasts going out from Priests for Life, approving the wording, communications regarding the pro-life caucus in the U.S. Congress, preparations for the West Coast Walk for Life and other upcoming trips, good wishes from leaders, receiving and responding to those, correspondence to and from bishops, media interviews being planned, another Newsmax article, and approval of a media blast going out from Priests for Life. Got to Ben Shapiro's studio, did a lengthy interview where he interviewed me for about 90 minutes. We had a great conversation. After that, I had a quick lunch that they provided for me, got back into the car that took me back to my office. Met with staff when I got back, and also went into the TV studio to tape our Praying for America program, and then had to do a special video spot for the March for Life. That will be played on the Jumbotron there and at other moments during the events later in January. And finally, I want to tell you about January the 7th, Saturday. I was here in my office doing lots of work. Preparation for, again, the March for Life and the West Coast Walk for Life, the prayer service that I'll be leading, and the, books. I assigned some books. I did a 10 o'clock live broadcast, a scripture exhortation, as I do on the days that I'm here. After that, I connected with John Henry Weston of LifeSite News, and he was in Rome, and he interviewed me from Rome. And he was there with some petitions that he was dropping off at the Congregation for Clergy in regard to me and my priesthood. So we had a good conversation, a good interview there. I continued working at my desk. And then in the later afternoon, a little after 3 o'clock, went over to Merritt Island, and there was a gathering of some of my team for sort of like an end of Christmas season celebration. We had a dinner celebration and some exchanging of gifts, Christmas music and decorations. Really, really nice celebration the late afternoon and into the evening of Saturday the 7th there on Merritt Island here in Florida. That was the first week of the new year. It was a great week. It was a week of worshiping God amidst the joys and sorrows of life. So thanks for following these doings of mine that I am happy to report to you about, because I do report to you. I work for the unborn, I work for the Lord, the kingdom of life, and for you who support us, follow us, and participate in our projects. Let's continue moving together with joy, and I'll talk to you soon.